Hey everybody, this is Darren Sabedra again, Bay Area News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Nathan Canilao, Joseph Dycus, Christian Babcock. It's late on Thursday night. We just wrapped up with NorCal quarterfinal basketball action and NorCal semifinal soccer action. Joseph was at both, saw some soccer, saw some basketball. Christian was at soccer today. Nathan was in Stockton to see the dream end for Murrow Catholic, the Mariners falling hard to Lincoln of Stockton, which looks like the favorite now in Division.
Yeah,
with Indercom going out and also Buchanan. The top two seeds in Division One are out, so third seeded Lincoln, if it wins on Saturday against St. Ignatius, will be home again in the NorCal final. Joseph, we talk about soccer. We think of 1-0. We think of 2-1. We think of 0-0 and penalty kicks.
Mm-hmm.
I saw your score, and I saw 6 goals in the second half between Bellarmine and De La Salle.
I could not believe it. I could not believe what I was seeing. Basically, De La Salle scored with 3 minutes gone in the first half, and I was like, okay, setting the tone. Preston Spalasso, I was like, okay, comes in on a corner on a cross, kicks it in, nice. They don't score again for like 40 minutes. I was like, oh, it's one of those games. They score early and they're gonna shut it down. They're gonna park the bus. Nope. De La Salle scores, and then Bellarmine gets a penalty kick, and WCal Defender of the Year Ben Sutton shows he can score too, kicks a penalty kick. And then Ronan Radigan, who is just an outstanding midfielder for De La Salle, pretty much goes on a one-man wrecking crew, like bowling ball style run by himself down the field, scores a crazy solo goal. Then Bellarmine gives it back to 3-2, and then Radigan does literally the same thing again, just goes like 1-on-5, scores, and then Bellarmine, they score right before the final buzzer. Crazy game. One of the craziest games I've ever seen.
4-3. So Bellarmine advances to play Everett Alvarez.
De
La Salle advances to play Everett Alvarez, a team that Christian saw last week beat Bellarmine in the CCS Division One final. So
speaking of Everett Alvarez, there was a fan on I was on the Bellarmine side for part of it, and I heard a fan say, "Remember EA when Bellarmine was down 2-0," because they were trying to use like a reverse on the reverse psychology.
They were trying to reverse the early 2-0 lead against Everett Alvarez, in which they lost 4-2. So De La Salle is in the Division One final. They have to go to Salinas on Saturday and play Everett Alvarez for the championship. Christian was at 2 soccer games today. We're going to get to basketball, don't worry. But Christian, let's go real quickly. You were at 2 soccer games. You stopped by Midi thinking that you're just going to catch the end, and it was going to be that's it, and head over to Mountain View to see Mountain View and Clayton Valley boys. Midi's up 2-0, about 10 minutes to go, and then all heck broke loose, right?
Yeah, I talked to JT Hanley after the game right before I left. I think it was about, I don't even know, 5:30, 5:40 at this point. I said, thanks very much for delaying me and making sure I miss at least half of the Mountain View boys game. So, yeah, it looked for all intents and purposes that things were done. Midi was up 2-0 for most of the second half. And then O'Dowd just kind of got, I would describe it as kind of a fluky goal. I think the Midi defenders thought the O'Dowd attacker was offside. She ended up 1-on-1 with the keeper, buried it. And then with 6 minutes to go, or I think 4 minutes to go, actually. Yeah, I'm looking at my story here. O'Dowd scored again. So all of a sudden we have a tie game. And after that, it was pretty much nuts. Great chances both ways. Neither team scored. They go to penalty kicks. O'Dowd keeper stops, I believe, Midi's second shot. So O'Dowd is up 4-3 entering the 5th round. Midi converts. O'Dowd attempt goes high of the bar. So we go to a 6th round. And then Midi converts again. And then the Midi keeper stops O'Dowd's 6th shot. And Midi wins and advances.
To defend its title. right? Because
Yep.
they're the defending champs. Now they're going to go to St. Francis, a team they lost to last week. The CCS
Yep.
final.
Yeah, another shot at redemption for them. They were very happy to get that. They realized just how close they were. JT talked about, we're the team that got the get out of jail free card. It really could have gone either way. I mean, that's really, how it goes in penalty kicks. One team is about to win it, and then you flip it, and in the very next round, the other team goes through. So just a crazy game to watch.
Right.
I will say I was at Carondelet Bishop O'Dowd for basketball, and there were some unhappy Bishop O'Dowd fans about soccer. Even at the basketball game, they were like, "Man, we could have won that soccer game."
Rough day for the Dragons because they also lost on the basketball court with the girls falling to Carondelet. Real quickly, Christian, then you went over to Mountain View, and that game went to overtime, and there was a strike by a guy outside the 18-yard box to win it for Mountain View. Golden goal, right?
Yep. Yeah. Golden goal. Kind of an odd game. 2 penalties were the first 2 goals, and not too much else before that. And then let me see if I can get his name. I don't have it etched in my memory. Cyrus, I believe. Anyway, read. You know what? You got to read online. It's late, and I'm sorry to Cyrus and his family that I cannot recall his last name. But yes, got the ball outside the 18 and just basically whacked it. And I thought it was deflected the way the shot was. It was a rising shot, top left corner of the goal. And that was it. Golden goal. Mountain View moves on to its second NorCal final in 6 years. And they lost that last one. So they'll have a shot to get their first one ever this year.
Cyrus Shafee.
There you go. Thank you, Darren.
Darren, we got to talk about basketball.
Family, it's been a very long day. But your kid is very nice to talk to him. And you can read about it in the story.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta start talking basketball. I see Nathan's eyes are trying to glaze over with all this soccer talk.
Too much soccer. Before we move on to basketball, I just want to point out St. Francis got the win over Amador Valley, so that's why they're playing midi. The St. Francis is the 2 seed. Sacred Heart girls keep rolling. They won in Division 4. They're going to go to Fresno Christian on Saturday for the D4 title. Also, winners out of the Bay Area News Group coverage area. We just talked about Mountain View. Hillsdale won in Division 3. They're going to be going to Archie Williams on Saturday. And Piedmont got the W. Piedmont boys, they're going to be at home for the Division 5 title on Saturday against Williams. Now, basketball. A couple of stunners in our from our coverage area. Clayton Valley, Division 2, goes on the road and wins at top seed Rockland, the boys, and Oakland Tech goes and turns the bracket upside down. Actually, SI too. So SI took out the 2 seed, and then about an hour and a half later, Oakland Tech takes out the 1 seed Intercom. Yep. Joseph, tell us about it. You talked to Coach Hart. I watched it on the stream. I mean, that the last 2 minutes were insane.
Basically, I can sum it up as Ardarius Grayson takes over, loses his mind for probably about a minute, hits a crazy 3, and then an even crazier acrobatic layup where he's twisting all around 3 defenders. And then to close it out, Zanmeyer Pletner, who is their 6 foot, either 6'8" or 6'7" shot blocker, gets a steal and knocks down 4 free throws in a row to close it out. Kriega Hart, I've never heard him so happy before. He was on the bus ride back to Oakland, but he was like, "Okay, done celebrating. We got to figure out a game plan because they're gonna play San Ramon Valley." And San Ramon Valley put up how many points against Liberty tonight?
101.
One more than Wilt.
What's that?
One more than Wilt Chamberlain. That's how much they put up.
101 for San Ramon Valley. So they got rolled. I assume Mason Thomas was well today.
Yeah, I just talked to Brian Botin, and he was
after having the flu the other day.
You said he was about 70%. He wasn't all the way there, but it didn't really matter because Luke Isaac went for 37 points. It was through 3 quarters too. Didn't play the 4th quarter. Insane game. San Ramon just took it to him, and it was at Monte Vista. So if you thought maybe they had the friendly role at the home court, it was not that. It was at the Rivals gym, and the
Rivals gym against Liberty.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I found out yesterday at the girls' game, allegedly the reason that it's at Monte Vista is because there was a band competition.
Yeah, band competition. There's no alleged. There was a band competition going on in the gym. We don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to hedge. It happened. I think
It happened. It happened.
Yeah.
it happened. Nathan, you took the trip out to Stockton. Monroe Catholic had this magical run going. They score 5 points in the last second to beat Cardinal Newman for the NCS D2 title. Then on Tuesday, they win at Doherty Valley. But it was pretty clear early on that they were not going to win at Lincoln of Stockton.
No, and then talking to Frank Knight after the game, they're pretty exhausted, emotionally, physically. They are tired, and that he did emphasize that, and that's no excuse for them. But it's it's hard, when you're going back to back, and within I think a stretch of 5 days, they had two really emotional games that went down to the wire. So Lincoln of Stockton really jumped on them. They have a great defense. They've literally beaten a lot of our coverage teams in our coverage area, whether San Ramon Valley, Clayton Valley,
SI. They're going to play.
Yeah, they've beaten, and now Moreau. Anthony Moore, Weber State commit. He took on the assignment of guarding Callan Hampton. Hampton, tired. He's really tired. After scoring 43, I would expect anyone to be, and he was held to I believe 3 points. And this Moreau just had a tough time scoring. Lincoln's a strong physical team. They're long. They could really get up in you. And they deserved to win tonight. They were at home. They had a big crowd, and they really put it on them. And it's gonna, I think, match up well with SI, who really different from Moreau. They're gonna want to slow down, and I believe they played close last time they played, so that should be a fun one.
Actually, it might have been close for a while, but Lincoln ended up winning that one 72-61, but that was the day after Christmas, 12/26. SI beat Buchanan tonight. Buchanan was the 2 seed. I just wrote it for our roundup. I mean, SI is kind of a weird team to figure out. I mean, the 3 blowout losses to Reardon, we'll take those off the board. I mean, that's a lot of teams have gotten blown out by Reardon, but they lost twice to Bellarmine. They lost to Intercom by 14. They lost to Lincoln of Stockton by 11, and they also lost to San Ramon early by 7. So, but they have bounced back since that drubbing last week at the Levy Center against Reardon, and they're in the semifinals. We got a tough task on Saturday night, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think SI has a style that could really differentiate themselves against Lincoln, but they're going to need to stop Anthony Moore. Anthony Moore, kid goes to Weber State for a reason. He's a Division I guy. He's good. He's good on both ends. So they're going to need a big game from their guards and their bigs if they want to get out of Stockton with the win.
Did you find out any details about Clayton Valley's big win over Rockland?
Yeah, so I think we all think that Clayton Valley got an upset win, but talking to Frank Alaco Jr., he lost his voice, so it was really hard to understand.
No, really?
He lost his voice, but the big takeaway from talking to him is he does not believe that was an upset win. He believed they should have won that game from the start. So they won. I believe Elijah Perriman had 27 points to lead all scores, and they just took it to Rockland. I mean, they really, I think, I believe Frank told me they held Rockland to about 5 points, or 3 or 5 points in the second quarter.
Wow.
So they played well defensively. They shot the ball well, and when Elijah Perriman's going, again, Pac-12 guard, so he's good. And there's an argument. I think there's an argument out there that they maybe should have been a low D1 seed. I don't know. They did win the 3rd place. I know they won the 3rd place game out of the NCS Division I, but that's a good team. That's a really good team with a lot of pieces, and they're ready. I mean, they're really shaking things up there in Division II.
Yeah, well, they got to go on the road to 5th seed of Destiny Christian, which really put the clamps on Oakland. I mean, held Oakland to 31. That's they won 59-31 over Oakland. Is that a pretty good win, Joseph?
That's a very good win. You want to do a quick post-mortem of all the teams we lost tonight?
Well, let's see. We started with Moreau.
Mitty.
We lost Mitty. Milpitas.
Milpitas.
They started strong in the first like 2 minutes, and then it was pretty clear that Clovis East was. Well, actually, that game was like still like 20-20, I think, at one point, and then Clovis East started to take control at the end of the first half and just dominated the second half and won 73-45.
Yeah, pour one out for the Mills girls.
Oh yeah, the Mills girls, Nathan. Tough one.
Tough one. That was my pick, but yeah, tough loss there. Also, the SPSV boys did lose to Santa Cruz by, I believe, a good amount, 23 points. So,
right. But we also had. Let's go through the winners tonight. On the we talked about Oakland Tech. We talked about SI, Clayton Valley. Carlmont and TKA in Division III, they're going to match up in a semifinal on Saturday in Sunnyvale at the Kings Academy's campus. Palo Alto got a W tonight. They're going to hit the road to play at Christian Brothers in Division III on Saturday. Berkeley got a win, and they're going to play at Priory on Saturday. And Nathan, Alhambra is still standing.
Yep. They went to like the deep Central Valley to get that 1 point win over, I believe, Argonaut.
Argonaut, they got a 1 point win.
Yep.
And now they're going to be at home to face International, a team they just beat last week for the NCS D5 title.
That's going to be some fireworks because that game I went to was pretty exciting until the end. I think Alhambra won it with some free throws. So
okay, you told me Alhambra traveled well for that game. This game is going to be at Alhambra in Martinez. Will that gym be packed?
Oh, I think they might have to have a waiting list or something. Tomorrow that gym is going to be filled. Yeah, that especially at home. I don't know if they thought they would have a home game in this round, but they do, and it's wow. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, if they just get to the state title game, I mean, throw a parade. You got to get Martinez. You got to get Martinez.
I was not a believer after they beat International the first time. You said they're like, oh, we want to win a state title, and I was like, okay, guys, calm down. I'm starting to think maybe they were onto something.
I think
we'll see. I want to give shout outs to some of the other winners. We talked about, I think the Piedmont girls got a win over San Joaquin Memorial, the 16th seed that upset Folsom. This is in Division I girls. Well, Piedmont won by 2 tonight, I believe. Carondelet won. They're going to be playing Cardinal Newman. Piedmont's going to St. Mary's of Stockton on Saturday. The California girls won. So they're in the semifinals in Division II, as are the Salesian girls. They also got a win. They're the 6th seed in Division II. The Moreau Catholic girls went out to, I think they went up to Reading. One of the kids on the Moreau Catholic team, her dad was our elementary school coach here in Fremont for my daughter. Went in her 2 minutes of, she realized that she's not a basketball player. She ended up becoming a swimmer, but she did score a basket. Well, my wife wasn't looking and I wasn't looking. We were looking at our phones, and everybody's like, she scored, and we missed it.
Wow.
Where was the NFHS network when you needed it?
Yes, where was the NFHS? And so shout out to the Moreau Catholic girls. Who else won? Castillejo. Oh, Castillejo beat Mills. Half Moon Bay girls won.
Yeah.
Encinal girls won. Head Royce.
The Jets.
Yes. So let's wrap this up. Give some parting shots if you guys want any. If not, we're going to close her down. Nathan?
Yeah, I'll go with just a parting shot, just to elaborate more on Alhambra. I mean, quite a run, and I think they're getting the attention that they probably deserve. I saw that they were on KPIX last night or 2 nights ago. They're legit. I think they're a legit team. I'm a believer. Even after they won the NCS championship, I was like, maybe. I'm a believer now.
Vern Glenn's all over it. He tagged me again tonight. Says the dream is still alive. The dream is still alive. So shout out to Alhambra. They're becoming a great story. Christian, you had your hand raised. What do you got?
Yeah, just if we're in the vein of, giving credit to teams who had great seasons that ended today, I think both the teams that I saw lose today, both O'Dowd girls and Clayton Valley boys, had great years. O'Dowd girls, this is the farthest they've been in, NorCal D1. I don't remember how far back NorCal dates. I think it's about a decade now, but I don't think they've ever reached this point. Talking to both the O'Dowd coach and JT Hanley, O'Dowd used to be a great girls soccer program, and they fell off.
Led by JT Hanley. Led by JT Hanley back in the day.
Yeah, he was talking about that, and they've kind of fallen off. Well, they're back now, and talking to JT, it sounds like they're going to be kind of a thorn in his side for a while. And then Clayton Valley boys, I think this is the first time they've ever made the NorCal semifinals, I believe is what their coach said. So great seasons, both of them. I think there's a lot more to come. They were both fixtures in my rankings this year, and I wouldn't be shocked to see either of them next year. Especially, both games were extremely close. O'Dowd, that game was 50-50, coin flip, either team winning, and then O'Dowd would have been in the title game. So really good games, really good seasons for those two teams.
All right, Joseph, you got one?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to the Oakland Tech fan base, because I was talking to Krieger Hart, and something he mentioned was that the Oakland Tech fans traveled really, really, really well. And I think we've seen that in all the state title games, right?
We have.
You get the OT chants. And I remember last year when the girls played in Chico, it felt like an Oakland Tech home game. I was like, wow, he traveled all the way to Chico for that. So I shouldn't be surprised they went to Intercom. And all I gotta say is I think the SRV Oakland Tech game, that's gonna be the game of the night on Saturday. All the open games, I get it, championship games in soccer, but I think Oakland Tech and SRV are gonna be a barn burner.
All right, we get to the open round on the open semifinals. We actually started the open last night. Well, Christian and I were off last night. Nathan and Joseph handled.
We broke it all down.
And you guys made picks. I saw you both pick Reardon. So nice job there. Do you guys want to pick the other semifinal on the boys' side?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Nathan, who you got?
For open?
Yes, boys.
Oh, so
I'm not going to go through all of them. We're not going to go through all of them tonight.
Okay, so I have, I think it's going to be close, but because we don't really know Alec, and I've heard he's practiced, but we don't really know to the extent of how healthy he is. I'm going to lean Folsom even on the road. I think they've had some really good wins. They beat Mater Dei by a ton of points, which is not
40.
easy to do.
40.
Yeah. And so I'm going to lean Folsom. If I have to pick a score, I think it's going to be really close. I think it's going to be something like 61-59, and it's going to be a very tight game. I do believe that they're going to go on the road and win that game.
Joseph. You don't have to pick that game. Then why don't you pick if you want to pick another game, go for it.
Okay,
Whatever.
I'll pick
You want to pick Tech San Ramon?
Tech San Ramon. You know what? My head says SRV. My heart says Oakland Tech. I'm going with my heart. I think that Oakland Tech wins 75-71. Darius Grayson, who is definitely a player of the year candidate in my mind. How many players in the Bear are as clutch as he is?
He was clutch tonight.
He's been clutch for years, honestly. So he,
big.
I'll pick Oakland Tech. What about you, Christian? You know what, Midi St. Francis. Who you got, Christian? Who's winning?
Oh boy, that's a tough one, and I'm gonna get some hate mail either way. I can almost guarantee. It's funny watching Midi today. I'm reminded how quickly a game can go either way, and that you could describe the first Midi St. Francis game that way, kind of in the CCS championship. It was pretty close. I just watching that game, I came away more impressed with St. Francis. So I think I got to go with the Lancers. I think Midi absolutely can win this game, even though like I just said, was more impressed with St. Francis. St. Francis beat Midi 4-0 the last time before they played in the CCS championships, and it's at St. Francis. But I'm a believer in Midi too. So we will see. Should be a great game. Great way to wrap up the NorCal season.
All right. You guys want me to pick one?
Yes.
Sure.
Which one? I've got one in mind. I was thinking San Ramon Valley Girls, Clovis West, but if you want me to pick something else, I can pick something else.
I'll pick that one.
Yeah.
The 32-0 team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but SRV team of destiny.
I smell a hot take coming.
I'm not only gonna, man. Clovis West is gonna be tough. I mean, it's a pack. They're gonna probably have a packed house. It's gonna be loud. San Ramon, having watched them. Can you guys hear me?
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. Having watched them on what was it, Wednesday, last night. I mean, teams just do not beat Pinewood the way they beat Pinewood. I think John Cristiano is going to have a game plan in place. And I think Clovis West's 32-0 dream season is going to end on Saturday. And we're going to have a San Ramon Valley Midi championship game Tuesday night in the South Bay. That's my call. Is that
Ooh.
okay?
All right.
That's
What a
a
way to
call.
end the episode.
That's a spicy way to end the night right there, Darren. That's all I gotta say.
Did
I
I
can see you
just
winding
jinx
up for that.
Did I
spicy
just jinx
segment.
San Ramon?
I mean, I'll double jinx them. I think they're going to win too. I think San Ramon, they're rolling. You know, I mean, they're not just beating teams; they're dominating teams. You know,
Yeah. I mean, to dominate Akalani's the way it did, and then to handle Pinewood, a team we just saw play Midi to a 6-point game,
yes,
and they beat Pinewood by almost 30.
yes.
Am I off base?
No, I don't think so. I think, I mean, has Clovis West seen a San Ramon Valley? I don't know.
I will say, Clovis West only beat Pinewood by 4 in the regular season.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if they've seen a San Ramon Valley. I don't know if they've seen a team like
There
that.
you go. Maybe it's going to be a Wolves party in Sacramento.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Oh
Remember-
well, they're gonna have to get the girls are gonna have to get past Midi to do that, right?
I think so. The boys are defending Division I champs for NorCal.
Yep.
So that's a wrap. Check us out, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com.